We are live. Well, almost. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Ted Bogert with the home team of Freedom Mortgage, the TED Show. Very excited. I know I say that a lot, but I'm really excited to talk about these topics with these gentlemen. I have Moises Alvarez, Alfaro, and Richard Feliz. Marco, did I say that right, or did I butcher
You got it. No, you did it
All
perfectly. Yeah,
right.
Alfaro.
For
That's
once,
right. That's
I
great.
did something. I don't know. Monday morning, I need more of my quote unquote coffee. So we are here to talk about a lot of stuff that's on people's minds. The CARES Act, the impact there, taxes. People, we're right around the 15th, so some people still don't know that has been extended. And then, of course, we have our social media small business guru Moises, who's going to wrap it up for us and talk about the impact there and things that you can do to be more positive. So the only reason I'm looking down is because I want to share this show, and if you guys can do the same thing, people know we're on, so it's okay. I mean, I think they know we're on. So I'm going to share it to my page, and then I'm going to go here. All right, we are live, gentlemen. All right, so welcome to the show. I've had Moises on before, obviously, but I haven't had Marco and Richard. So let's get a little bit of background on you guys, and I'll start with you, Marco. Tell us a little bit about you and your background and who you are. Welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ted, for allowing us to be here in the show. A little bit about me. So, like you said, well, my name is Marco Alfaro. I'm the CEO for TaxCare. We have several offices in the state of Florida, helping a lot of our community. And in regards to my background, I've been in the financial and tax industry for quite some time right now. In the tax and accounting, a little bit over 3.5 years, but in the financial aspect, a little bit over 12 years. I'd also been in the higher education for 12.5 years. And then I think, something that really got me really passionate about this area of taxes and accounting had to do with me running my own businesses at one point and learning what works, what doesn't work, and knowing and understanding that accounting and taxes can be, if not done properly, can be a huge detriment to a small business.
Absolutely. Higher education. I'll have to ask you that later. All right,
Sure.
Richard. Richard, tell us about you. Richard Feliz, welcome.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you for having us. I am the senior accountant at TaxCare Longwood. I've been working for the company for over 5 years. Graduated from NYC, New York City, from college, and then moved out here and been working with the Alvarez family. Daniel, great guy, and Moises as well. Taxes, it runs in the family. My father is a CPA in the Dominican Republic. My brothers are all accountants. So we have that same feeling for accounting, the math, and all that good stuff. And I mean, helping people. That's what it's all about, and that's the part I enjoy most about my work.
Love it. So you don't look like, none of you look like you're in any kind of tax world. You got the good look going on, especially that hair, Richard. I was told
Oh
on the
well,
side I had
barbers.
the hair. All right. Last but not least, Moises Alvarez. What's up, buddy? Good morning.
What's up, Ted? How you doing today? So glad to be here
Good.
today. I mean, I am so always jonesing just to get in front of people. You know me, I'm always out doing stuff. So thank you for having me here today.
Cheers.
Cheers to that for sure.
And we work together, work teammates at the home team of Freedom Mortgage. And, we are still out here because Moises is definitely, like you said, a social being. So this whole part about not being able to socialize with people, Zoom has been a lifesaver. All right, so let's dive. I had a lot of people go, I can't wait to hear about what they're going to talk about. So enough about me and my rhetoric. Marco, I'll start with you because that's the topic that I listed first, the CARES Act. What's funny is I had to look it up because CARES actually is all capital letters. So I didn't want to be that idiot that just said CARES like normal. So tell us about the CARES Act, and then maybe give, small businesses, people want to know what to do because they are so confused. There's so much information out there. Websites are crashing. They don't know if they're supposed to file, if they're not supposed to file. it's very crazy and stressful for people. So can you give your 101 on that for us, please?
Definitely. I tell you what, the feeling that you're sharing right now is actually across the board. So don't feel lonely in that. You know, for the past week and a half, I've been doing a lot of webinars with a whole bunch of different CPAs and lawyers and in this specific area. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of confusion for sure. But the one important thing is to understand that, you know, the government got together basically and put together a package to help the entire U.S. because of the situation with COVID-19. So the CARES Act program basically comes down to a stimulus package of $2.2 trillion. Okay, of course, it's broken down into a lot of different aspects, but this is massive amounts of money. Historically, this is the largest stimulus ever done. And then not to not to spoil some of the things that the government is working on, but it looks like there's another stimulus coming as well, just because the money is going out really fast. And so some of the highlights, Tad, is that, you know, part of the stimulus has to do with putting money into the people right now. And so some of the things that you've heard already is that you have individuals who are like families or individuals who are going to be receiving a physical check or a deposit, whether it's going to be $1,200 if it's an individual, or $2,400 if it's a couple filing taxes together. And if they have children under 16 years old, you're going to have an additional $500. And then they put some caps on you know, who can be eligible for this money. And the reason for it is because they wanted to make sure that the people that needed the money the most is the one getting the money. So if you're an individual and then you made $75,000 in your tax return for 2018 or 19, you're eligible for that money. And for any $100 above the $75,000, it starts to decrease by $5 until you get no stimulus. Same thing is for the husband and wife who file together. So you cannot make any more than $150,000, and if you do, again, it's $100, and then it decreases by $5. And then you have the individuals who, you know, are head of households, individuals who, you know, have a dependent or two or three, and so their cap is a 115. Okay, and then on it goes the exact same way. So that's one of the initial funding that the government started to inject into the market. You had a question?
Let me ask you, we had a bunch of questions before we went live, mainly about what if I didn't file my 2018 or 2019 taxes.
So this is one of the important moments for anybody who hasn't filed to file. It doesn't matter how much money you made on those years. I mean, you might have made $100 or $600. That doesn't matter, because part of the legislation was changed so that there was no minimum. Okay, so you file your taxes so that you can actually get in line to get that the part of the stimulus. Now we have some individuals who, you know, we're looking at the situation and say, look, Marco, it looks like, you know, in 2018 I did okay, but in 2019 I'm gonna be way over that. And then, you know, all I said was, look, just weigh your options. If you want to just wait for a little bit, if file later, then go ahead and do so. Or the opposite, where somebody actually made really good money in 2018 and then 2019 not so much, and so the stimulus is going to work perfectly. So to those that said, hurry up and let's get your taxes, you know, submitted so that you can get your money in the bank.
And then somebody asked specifically, and I don't know if Richard's supposed to take these or not, so if you guys just want to jump in, it's a free for all here. Somebody asked, all right, I want to submit my 2018. What if I need to make an adjustment later?
If there is, I would say right now, if they already know that they're going to make an adjustment, it will be important, I think, to just make sure that we do everything as accurate as possible. I mean, you know, there's always the fact that we can actually go back and amend it. The question is, if you think about it right now,
that's the word I was looking for. Amend.
Amend, yeah. Yeah, so the one thing, just keep in mind, and I'm just speaking in general in this area, but you know, a lot of the banks, which you know we're going to touch on that right now, but one of the worries was the potential for fraud, right? And so right now the government is basically in a hurry right now just to push the money out because they don't want to see the economy crashing. And so they're doing exactly basically economics 101, pumping money to flood the market and just maintain what's going on. So if you know that you're going to amend, I think, you know, it's better to just try to do everything correct the first time, so it doesn't look like, you know, you were trying to work the system and then once everything was done, then you just went back. Okay. You know, there's always like errors that as long as you're able to justify it, you know, you're never gonna get in trouble. You know, amendments are always there, available for any of us, and we can amend things as, you know, 3 years in the past. My suggestion is, you know, let's do it. Let's do as much as we can, things the right way. And then, you know, if we need to go back, then we do, but it's best to do it, especially at this time, to do it right.
All right, so I interrupted you. We were probably going to talk about at some point the loans.
Yep.
The bank loans. So let's start there.
So that's next. So you have two specific programs. Okay, one is called the EIDL, or the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Okay, and in there you have a few different pieces. Okay, the biggest thing is, originally, if you notice, about not this Friday but the Friday before, the application was open for businesses that had less than 500 employees, so they could apply to get a specific loan. Meaning that if they had issues with, you know, cash flow and they were in a difficult situation, they could go and apply. And in that same loan, there's also something called an advance $10,000 forgivable loan. Okay, meaning that in the meantime, while you actually get qualified for the whatever loan that you're looking for, the government was supposed to basically give you a $10,000 within a few days. Now, many people are complaining right now because it's been a week or a week and a half for some. I mean, a week and some, and then they haven't received the money. Banks are right now collapsing, as you mentioned before, but the money will come. And so with the $10,000, basically there's two pieces to that. If you do not qualify for the additional loans that you're looking for, that money is automatically forgiven. Okay, there's not a specific guidance in regards to what proofs you need to show maybe later on to prove that you actually utilize the money for a business. My suggestion in general is going to be, look, if you ask for this loan, make sure that you use it for business. Don't take a vacation after, you know, COVID-19, you know, it's away, or do something that has nothing to do with business related. But anyway, so that's the one piece. And so you have individuals that, you know, of course, $10,000 is not going to be enough because they were either in the expansion mode or they have several employees. You know, let's say you have a business that has 100 employees or more, and then you needed a whole bunch of different things. So this is an opportunity to get, you know, this type of loans. Okay. And then for that specific loan, you can actually, the terms are 30 years. If you qualify for those loans, 30 years at a 3.75%. 6 months deferred of any payments. And then you can get up to $2 million for this specific loan. Okay. So this is incredible for some of the businesses that are in this situation. Okay. Then the same situation applies for self-employed individuals, independent contractors. Okay. So now independent contractors and self-employed individuals may not have any employees other than themselves, but they still have a business that they're running. And depending on their situation, they can also qualify for additional loans and also the $10,000 forgivable loan. So this is an incredible situation right here, because most of the time, a lot of the independent contractors didn't qualify for many loans because they needed to prove so many different things. And another thing that the government lifted was the fact that there's no collateral needed.
Yeah.
No guarantees.
How about credit score?
So far, nothing. In fact, there was a few things on the notes, basically saying that there was going to be some sort of a business credit pool. But to be honest, how many business really have business credit?
They don't.
Correct.
Right.
Now, not to say that, some of these loans are not going to, the people who are going to be reviewing the application are not going to do some due diligence, but they're not going to be as strict as you would normally see it when you apply for a traditional loan, which is incredible. So that's one of the loans that basically has a lot of components to it. The second one, which is, an incredible program, is called the PPP, or the Pay Protection Program. Okay, so what this means is this is specifically for companies that have employees, not subcontractors, because this is the biggest mistake that most people made early on. Not this Friday, but the Friday before, the 3rd of April. Okay, including during Saturday, and on Sunday there was some information already updated from the government saying no subcontractors go into the calculation. But with this one, what the government is trying to do specifically is ensuring the number of jobs that they're able to save. So they want individuals that actually are working, individuals, companies that actually have employees. And this is the kicker, because again, this is where, the government is coming through really, really amazingly, because if you have, a payroll cost, your average payroll cost, and there's some specific calculations that, it's best that somebody works with somebody who actually understands what goes in there. Is the fact that if, let's say that is, $60,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month. So once you narrow down and you got all your calculations done, you're going to apply through your bank. And
I
once
like
the bank,
frozen picture there.
what was that?
There he is.
Okay.
There you go. Sorry, you blocked out for a second.
Sorry. So anyway,
No.
once you have that information, then you apply through your bank. And then let's say that, again, that you're like $20,000 a month in payroll cost. So now you're going to be approved that amount times 2.5. So picture that.
Wow.
Okay. So what the government is going to do, can you see me? I think it froze for a second. So what the government is doing is now is allowing you to have this money and utilize it for 8 weeks. And if you utilize it properly, according to the ratios, which is very simple, 75% of that money should go to payroll. And 25% of it can be utilized for some specific qualified business expenses, whether it's rent, utilities, and a few other things, which is incredible, for 8 weeks. Okay. And so if they keep the ratios properly and they have everybody on payroll, or if for whatever reason there's a business that had to drop some of the employees for a few weeks, as long as they bring back the head count no later than June 30th, that loan through the PPP is 100% forgivable.
Wow.
So talking about, okay, well, you either have the EIDL or the PPP program. Our suggestion is apply for both and see which one comes approved. If you get both approved, what's going to happen is they're going to combine the two. And so if you got already $10,000 forgiven from the EIDL, then they're just going to reduce that from the PPP. What the government doesn't want is for people to do double dipping.
Sure.
But then here we go. So $45,000, $50,000 in payroll that you didn't have to come out of pocket for one, and then at least 25% you can utilize for your business expenses. I mean, I couldn't be any happier with the type
Let
of.
Let me ask you a couple of the other questions. Richard and Moises, I haven't forgotten about you, but this is where I got the majority of the questions prior to going live. The minute I posted this morning, my mailbox was full. People want to know, like when I used to own my businesses, my CPA would tell me, you've got to pay yourself, Ted. So if you are a business owner and you're paying yourself, is your salary that you're paying yourself W-2 out of that, is that calculated in?
That to me or to Moises?
That was to you, Mark.
Oh yeah. Then yes, it is. So if you are if you have a company, let's assume that it's an S corp or a C corp, and you have a W-2 that you're paying yourself. That is your payroll. So therefore, you are eligible for PPP.
Okay, great. I did have
Now,
a ton of self-employed, like people who own companies that maybe have a small amount of employees, but they're a CPA or somebody told them to pay themselves, and they're like, ask him. I can't get the answer. I don't know. And so I assumed it would be that way. I mean, it makes sense. It's going to show on your payroll taxes. So
that is
why
correct.
wouldn't it be
Now,
counted as that?
where we seeing some issues here, and then here's where you were as a taxpayer, you might have been basically on the receiving the benefit of not paying a lot in taxes because of your business, and basically you were able to reduce your taxable income based on all of the business expenses, right? So now all of a sudden, now the coin flips. Now the money that is going to be given to you is based on your taxable income. So if your taxable income is low, now that's what is going to be taken in consideration for the calculations.
Gotcha.
So,
all right, I have a million questions for you, and I think what we should probably do is do a part 2 of this for you specifically, because that's where because people are having a hard time filling out the application, or they're afraid to fill out the application, or they're afraid their credit's going to stop them. And the process, as you know, for anybody who isn't used to filling out any kind of paperwork, it's daunting. So I'd love to have you come back on, and we'll do a whole recap of CARES Act and this, because I think it's super important. People are not applying that should be applying, and they're not doing it because they're afraid of the paperwork, or they don't understand the process and what the consequences will be, but also what the availability is. They really don't get it. And people don't get all of your information from Facebook. You need to reach out to professionals like Marco. So thank you for that. And I would love to have you come back on. Very much.
Thank you, Ted. No problem. Thank you.
All right. So Richard, the second largest set of questions I got had to do with, oh my God, April 15th is around the corner. Now I know that we've extended the date for filing, but talk a little bit about taxes and what happens if you do extend the date. And are you going to have penalties accrue for the 3 months? I mean, there's all these questions that are going on. And just tell us about the basic tax ramifications. If you get some of these loans, even though they're forgivable, how that's going to look. Is it going to look like income on you? Is it going to look like, all that good stuff came up. So I'll let you go. Take a deep dive.
All right. Well, thank you. I mean, our main goal here is to keep employees and our clients safety. That's the main thing during these unprecedented times. I mean, here at TaxCare, we have adapted pretty well to the circumstances. And like Marco mentioned before, and you did too, is everybody's going crazy. What's going on? How can I benefit? What paperwork I have to fill out? How can, and that's where we come in. We've specialized in investment loans and these new type of loans. Again, if you're interested, please give us a call. But keep in mind, just like any loan, the information provided has to be as precise as possible. And we are here to make sure that, that's the case with any loan that we get submitted. Again, we are communicating. Right now, this is more geared into fear, survival mode. It's a transition that people don't know what's going on. Information that they're requesting a lot of the times for the SBA loan is, 941s, things that even business owners are not familiar with for the most part, 941s and payroll reports, corporation taxes. And we are here to make sure that that's a process that is smooth for you, and let us take care of that. I mean, right now, and that's something that, I was talking to my team about communication. How are we keeping the interaction with the client? What are we doing when it's time for signatures? We have the e-signature, we have Zoom, we have something called the Net Client CS, where you have access to this information. And again, Jonathan just texted me that the SBA loans is first come, first serve program. So we need to, if you're interested, we need to get going with all the loans documents that, we can prepare for you.
Okay, so let me go back. So let me ask you, taxes, how long have they been, supposed to be April 15th? What's the date?
So,
Can they file?
I remember you asking about penalties. There is not going to be any penalties. Those are going to be basically left out until the 15th of July. Anything after that, you can actually request an extension, of course. And again, with everything that's going on, even if you get any penalties or any sort of that thing, you can always call and say, hey, listen, you know what happened. They will understand. This is something that has not gone unnoticed. Everybody knows about it. And calling, or having us do that for you, it's going to be very simple for people that have that question.
How about I don't want to call it income because these are loans, but how
Sorry,
about
I didn't hear your question. It kind of faded away. I couldn't hear you.
Under CARES Act. So under the CARES Act, anything that the people receive, is that going to have to go on their taxes for 2020?
It depends. So for businesses in general, the way that it works is if you qualify for the PPP, okay, which is specifically based on employees receiving payroll, okay, so the business is going to have a business expense, but the money is going to come in as an income. So it basically neutralizes for those individuals. Now for self-employed individuals, it's going to come in as income. Because that's it, right? They're going to pay it to themselves, and at the end of the day, it's going to come in as income. So yeah, they will have to pay money if the money comes in as just through the PPP and as income to them. Now, if they receive a loan doesn't have any tax ramifications in that sense. And then again, so that's the biggest thing. So if the PPP is where they're getting their money in, it will come in as income. But as the other one, the EIDL, again, if they have the $10,000 forgivable loan, we're gonna be okay as long as they maintain the qualifications.
All right, Moises. So thank you, Richard. Thank you, Marco. Moises, last but not least, everybody is trying to figure out what they're doing on social media. They want to, you and I are both social media crazy people. We like to post pretty much everything. I don't post workouts because I don't believe in them. But I do post food and activities and fun stuff to talk about social media because I think people don't know how to use it. They're not sure what to do with it in our business or any business. And so kind of give them an idea of social media in this crazy world right now.
Well, Ted, I would say, I'm actually adapting to some new tactics and some new strategies as well. I went and bought some dry erase boards that I can roll around my house so I can start doing workshops and some educational pieces through social media. I also purchased on Amazon a bunch of cool t-shirts that says #lender, got mortgage that I'm going to use during these videos. Of course, branding the home team and branding who you are is an important part, but also keeping it natural is important. I've been seeing a lot more personal interaction happening. So yes, I'm actually doing stuff with me riding my bike, and I get a lot of hits on that. But try and make the content work for you, expressing something that's a call to action as well. I've been using my little puppy as well. Dogs are always great.
Oh my God, that puppy Posey, right?
Yeah.
What an adorable pup.
Well, those are all great ways to pull through of likes and people interacting with you, and also supporting our agents. I can't say enough how impressed I am with so many agents out there that are out in the field, maxed up with their Lysol, and just getting out there and bringing me referrals, and I have to just send a huge shout out to my agents and realtor partners and all the agents and people that are out there in this industry that are actually out there making that happen. So I'm helping with sharing their postings or listings for them, sharing their postings through list reports. We're activating some new applications that are helping spread the word for them. So anything that we could do to help them as well is a key part. So, teaming up with them, keeping communication with them is also a key element in today's environment. So just keep having fun with it. I mean, you just got to have fun and not be scared.
Agreed. All right. So I know we're going a little long, but I ask every single guest this during this whole COVID insanity where we're all on Zoom and we're live. And I'm going to start with you, Moises, and then we'll finish up with Marco. What are you personally, not business, what are you personally doing to stay positive?
Well, I've been doing two things, a lot of praying, and I'm drawing again. I'm doing a lot of graffiti drawing again, and I'm doing characters, and it's really calming me down.
Very cool. All right. I didn't even know you drew. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, Richard, how about you?
I'm actually doing a lot of TikToks. I'm going to TikTok and just having fun with it, enjoying it, and just keeping that positivity, keeping that optimism about, obviously things are, the future is not certain, but during this time, using a little bit that can make you feel uplifted and make you feel happy goes a long way.
I love it. And for those of you who don't know what the TikTok is, that's what I call it. We're doing an actual TikTok 101 happy hour. Like Jen Charisse from Celebration Title is going to come on this Wednesday and kind of teach us all the whole TikTok scenario. My kids are begging me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, Marco, how about you? What are you doing positive for you personally to kind of stay creative and uplifted during this time?
Yeah, you know what? I think for me, literally, it's just taking walks and then actually enjoying nature. So believe it or not, we work like crazy, especially during this time. And so sometimes I'm staring at the screen for like 17, 18 hours a day. So I take between 3 to 4 long walks in all the area in my neighborhood. I get to the point that my daughter said, "Are you going out again?"
I love it.
But it's just, nature is great. And so it just allows me to just, take it all in, be grateful for what we have.
Amen to that. All right, Marco and Richard, how do people reach out to you if they want to learn more, they want to talk about taxes, they want to talk about the loans? What's the best way for them to get to you?
Yeah, I think, one of the best ways to get to us directly or, find the nearest office to where they are is to go to taxcareinc.com. And they can actually search in the location to find the office nearest to us. They can always email us at info@taxcareinc.com. But, they can also reach out directly for most of the clients that we have in Orlando, directly to our office in Orlando. So if you want to, Richard, give the details, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we are located in Longwood, right off the Longwood exit 94 on the I-4. And our number is 407-774-0861. We'll be happy to take your call, answer any questions free of charge, and kind of guide you towards that direction that you want to go. And again, it's free. Any consultations, give us a call. We answer your questions and help you with all this.
Love it. All right, Moises, if people have a refi or a realtor has a new purchase, how do they reach out to you?
You can reach me on Facebook. I'm Moises Alvarez. You can also reach me on my cell, 407-346-3093.
That's true. Moises is a phone person, so you will love him.
Energizer.
All right, you guys have been amazing. So much great information. Thank you for taking time out on a Monday morning. Guys, you want to reach out to them. There's money on the table is like how I look at it. So don't miss out because you're afraid of the process. You have people that are willing to help you and want to help you get that money that you deserve. If you qualify, you should get it. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Marco,
Thank you.
Richard, Moises, we'll see you guys later.
Take care.
Bye,
Have a good one.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.